Welcome back. It's been a few months since we did a 2016 projection of the electoral college. Last time was with Scotty Walker, who's obviously now out. We're going to make a change, and obviously this is fluid stuff. We would never expected Walker to drop out before the Iowa caucus or anything close to that. So we went ahead and did one with Trump. It's just really hard to predict one with Trump, so we're going to go ahead and do which we feel probably would be the nominee, is going to come through Marco Rubio. So we're going to take Rubio and check the battleground states here. I don't necessarily agree with these all starting out as battleground states, but we're going to go ahead and take Florida right out off the map as a battleground. We're going to give it to Rubio. Rubio, obviously from South Florida, from Cuba. His parents were anyway. So that's a huge part of the Miami vote that usually goes Democratic. So we're going to give that to Rubio. North Carolina, the biggest thing with Rubio is that he does have some Latin, Central American, however you want to say it, descent, being from Cuba or having a parents from Cuba. So I think it'll help on a huge demographic, being the Hispanic population. So, and also he's a younger guy, so I think he'll have a lot of fire on the campaign trail, which there's multiple candidates that can speak well like him, and also they're younger. But I think there'll be a huge contrast between he and Hillary Clinton. She's a 70, I think she's 72, and she is a terrible campaigner. She would rather have a basically an interview type rally versus a big whoop-de-doo rallies like I think Rubio would have. Trump would be in the same boat if that's the case. Trump is more of a question and answer kind of guy versus a big cheerleader, so to speak. But the dynamic of Rubio being the candidate is going to change. I think his message on foreign policy has been completely accurate on some of the things he's said of as far as ISIS and other things in the Mideast have come true exactly how he has predicted, which that's not unique. Other Republicans have talked about how even Russia being the biggest geopolitical problem in the years to come since 2012. That's come to fruition. Of course, the rise of ISIS after the no status of force agreement in Iraq and all these other things Obama's done to completely destroy America's power, and also just the world in general, I think, is falling apart. I think Obama is very delusional on everything that's going on in the world. I think he always thought that he could do no wrong. A lot of the people out here that voted for him had the wool pulled over their eyes, basically sheep supporting him for whatever dumb reason they thought. Obviously, Obama is all talk, no action, so now we've got a big mess to clean up. So that's why I think Trump has gained traction, but we're not going to fill it in on him. We're just going to stay with Rubio. So the dynamic changes dramatically with Rubio in basically all southwestern states, I should say. So I want to give him some of these states. The only reason some of these states would even be in place, say like Virginia, would be any minority population up here in the D.C. area, and then of course the unions are strong up there, so that's the only reason that it will be close to Virginia, no matter who the nominee is. But if Rubio can peel off some minority voters, mostly the Hispanic voters, that is even a few percentage points more than what the Republicans usually get, which is usually a 20-some percent. But some people have said Republicans need 40-ish% of the Hispanic population. I think he'll get somewhere close to that, and I think it'll be enough. Actually, I'm going to take New Mexico and give that to Rubio. Colorado has a higher also Hispanic population, and Nevada also. So if I take the Mountain West states, that's going to be the biggest change. I'm going to give Wisconsin to Rubio. We'll have our local Janesville friend will be elected Speaker of the House this coming week, so it's pretty big week coming up here in Janesville. I think the popularity of P. Ryan in the state and also then nationally as Speaker will help bring Wisconsin also into the Republican column. And I've mentioned in the past about our voter ID law, so we hopefully will stem the tide of illegals voting in Wisconsin. As long as that holds up, there's usually a judge or two, a left-wing judge in one of the Madison districts, federal districts, that likes to circumvent the Constitution and change laws on his own based on his political views, which I think all these judges should be thrown in prison when they do that, but that's a different argument for a different time. Iowa's very tough to call. I just don't see how Iowa also is a Democratic state unless we're talking the two major colleges, Iowa State and University of Iowa. If it's a student thing where kids are just voting in just high enough blocks for the left wingers to make Iowa close. I'm going to go ahead and give Iowa to Rubio. I'll give Pennsylvania to Hillary Clinton. I think the black population in Philadelphia is stronger than the state's Hispanic population. I could be wrong, but the voting in Philadelphia probably will take that for the left-winger candidate. New Hampshire's always a tough call. It's gone to the lefties lately, the last few elections. We'll give that to Rubio for lack of anything but being a very excitable candidate, hopefully exciting the electorate to vote his way. So then, of course, we've got Ohio as the last state. In any way, Rubio would have already surpassed the 270 needed for the election to win the election. So if this happens in the western 4 states or so that I showed, it's usually a little bit of a tide that'll roll through. So I think we will have to go ahead and give Rubio the benefit of the doubt in Ohio. I still need to see more of his economic policy, get to know it more, to see how that's going to affect Ohio. Of course, people like to say, well, it's a Republican governor, he can help out. I just don't buy the correlation anymore between governors and helping out presidential candidates. I think things are just always fluid, and it depends a lot on the candidate themselves. So if you contrast the minority status of that Rubio has, and then his flamboyancy to be able to articulate well and be an excitable candidate, I think that'll be enough. So we'll check back in. We will not do another update until the night before the Iowa caucus. So please check back and please subscribe right now to our page. And we will be back the night before the caucus and see how things are shaping up. We, at this point, don't expect Rubio to win the Iowa caucus, but we'll see. Things are changing right now. Ben Carson is taking the lead in Iowa, and I would not be surprised to see Carson finish first or second, and then Ted Cruz in first or second. So I think those two in one of those orders will win the Iowa caucus. I think Trump will come in fourth behind Rubio, and then down from there. So that's my prediction for the Iowa caucuses as of October 24th, 2015. So the night before the February caucus. Check back in. Thank you, and have a great rest of your Saturday.